You're hoping you can get it to work?
I think I figured out how to get it to work. So, yeah, just tell the stories. I want to hear all the stories.
Tell them about the dare on the kid with the Tabasco sauce.
Oh God. I don't know what it is with MREs, but that little tiny bottle of Tabasco sauce, it seems like it's 10 times worse than regular Tabasco. I don't know, like it's concentrated Tabasco. But we always like anybody else, we like to harass the newbies. So when we went out on one of our camping excursions, we had some noobs, and one of them particularly, we got him on a dare to drink that little bottle of Tabasco sauce. Now, any idea what happens if you drink Coke after something like Tabasco sauce?
Heartburn from hell?
That too, but it makes the heat of the Tabasco so much worse. Instead of putting out the flames, it amps it up. So this poor kid, he's already on fire because apparently he had zero heat tolerance.
I personally, when I heard the story, felt really bad for the kid.
So we hand him a Coke. Now, we all knew from experience what would happen because we've all been there, we've all done it. Oh, this poor kid, he shot through his canteen, my canteen, two other guys, and had to go refill and start doing it again. Looking back, I didn't know about water intoxication, but that's where he was going for it. As he shot down a lot of water that night.
That is one of the most painful things ever. I remember listening to my grandpa and putting Tabasco on my French fries for like the first time. I cannot tell you how much milk and water I drank. Because I ate them all. But ow!
They did a lot of razzing of the newbies. You want to tell them about the 25-cent?
You do not forget toilet paper. Whenever you go on an excursion of any sort, you always had your go bag. You had your rucksack full of all your gear and everything. And one thing you never forgot in there was the TP. Because this is the same gear if we got, sent out on a plane crash or a search rescue, or if we just went on a camping trip. You take this gear with you. If you were the unfortunate soul that did not bring TP on one of these excursions, well, those of us who did have it would happily sell you some at 25 cents a square for one ply. It started as 2-ply, but, well, it turns out it's 1-ply. If you want 2-ply, that's 50 cents.
You guys were mean, man.
Hey, it's how the economy is. The difference between the haves and have-nots. You either have your toilet paper or you pay for the toilet paper.
Or you learn real quick not to use the leaves of 3.
Yeesh. I don't think we ever had anybody quite that dumb. They either paid for the toilet paper or they found some other leaves. But I don't believe we ever had, in the years that I was there, anybody to use the leaves of 3.
You do know that old adage, don't you, Jenny?
The leaves of 3 are some of the itchiest.
Yeah.
Leaves of 3, leave them be.
Okay, what's a really fun trucking story?
I recommend the first time I was in the truck with you, that the whole your dispatcher was telling you to hide me.
Yeah, where we had to go to Budweiser.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I don't know if that was a fun trucking story or not, because you were cooking.
Yes. That was absolutely miserable. It was
Well,
California.
you're not allowed to have anybody with you. You know, you're not allowed riders or anybody that's not a driver.
And it was California. And the truck's AC was busted.
That had to be one of the hottest.
So, you know, we had her hidden in the sleeper in California. Southern California, to be exact. So, of course, it was hot as hell. And they took their sweet, sweet time. Because at Budweiser, or any of the beer plants especially, they will load you right up to the last pound. You know, you have an 80,000 pound limit. Well, whatever they can put on there up to that point, they are going to squeeze the last pound out of it.
And his dispatcher was like, yeah, just keep her in the back. They'll never look. They won't know.
Yeah, the dispatcher said, no, they can't look. They can't search your truck.
Which is, by the way, BS.
Yeah, because we get there, and one of the things it says right there on the gate is that by entering this property, you give them the right to search your truck. And I was like, oh, crap. Oh, we're going to be playing the shell game tonight.
That particular run was from Southern California to Virginia and back again.
That was to D.C., Patti.
Was it to D.C.?
Yeah. 2 stops in Virginia, 1 stop in D.C. No, wait a minute. 2 stops in D.C., 1 stop in Virginia, because they went to that amusement park.
Yeah, the Wilmington.
Sounds about right. Somewhere in that area.
Yeah.
The last 2 stops were in D.C., and that was a pain.
I watched him at one point in Pittsburgh. Back that truck, it was I think it was one of the 46-foot sleeper, not sleeper,
Oh,
trailer,
I
trailers.
wish. That was a 58, Patty.
Was it?
Yeah. I wish it was a 46.
Anyway,
You're
he
talking
backed,
about that building where I had to back inside the building?
yes. He backed it, it was an alleyway. He backed it from, just the alleyway into the building. And oh my goodness, I was gritting my teeth hoping he'd make it.
Yeah, 'cause that thing had to be literally jackknifed into the building, and you had no more than 6 inches on either side of that trailer. That's all the play you had on either side. And then, of course, you had the fence in front of them. That one was the longest it's ever taken me to back a trailer in anywhere. I must have been at that for an hour.
Of course, I came home to have Angel, and his grandmother got me good because of him. There is a limit on bridges for a reason. There's I think it's 13.6 for most bridges.
13.6 is the height of most trucks. Some bridges are less than that.
So apparently his grandmother had seen a news report where a truck driver had ended up going and hitting a bridge because his truck was too tall. And the truck driver had told the cops that, he didn't hit no bridge, that what had happened was that
I was carrying that bridge and ran out of fuel.
That old woman had me going because I thought for sure that Joe had accidentally gotten into an accident. And here I am worried about him, and he calls me up and is like, "No, I'm fine. I didn't hit no bridge. What you talking about?" Believe me, that was one of those moments where panic set in quick.
Yeah, but he seems smart enough to actually pay attention to the heights of the bridges.
He is. And he's the best driver I've ever known. He never had an at-fault accident.
Ooh, what else can you tell me?
Told her about the hooker in Texas.
I did not, however, tell her about your trainer and what he offered you.
Dude, I don't know about pussy and breakfast. That just ain't right.
I thought that one was funny, though. Okay. How about the time that you pissed me off and I decided to go on the radio and offer up for you a lot lizard.
Hey, you lot lizards want my boyfriend.
I did. We were in El Paso, and he pissed me off but good, and I said, "Is there any lot lizards out there that want my boyfriend? I sure as hell don't. Come get him."
Of course, good old Texas with that nice guy coming across the border with those burritos and the green sauce.
Uh-huh.
Those were some damn good burritos.
They were some damn good burritos. The problem is I have no heat tolerance. And Joe here decided that the green sauce would be the safer of the sauces dude had.
You don't want the red sauce.
Neither sauce is safe.
True. It's just one was less safe than the other.
So he gets me burritos. I am at this point 6 months pregnant. And he gets me this. I am waddling everywhere. And he gets me this, and I take a bite, and I'm on fire. So I make him pull over at the only place, because this was in Laredo. So we are so close you can spit across the border at this point. So I make him pull over at the only place that we could get that truck in, which was this little border Exxon. I go waddling in, and I get me a half gallon of milk, chocolate milk to be exact. Now, I don't think about checking the date on it. Why would I? So I get it to where the date is eye level before I see the date. By that point, the milk jug is half empty.
Oh no.
And it was 2 weeks out of date.
And it just clicked in my brain at that point how chunky this milk is. I spent the next 2 weeks puking all over him. Anything he would buy, I would throw up.
At one point, I literally asked her, "Why the hell am I buying you food? All you do is eat it and throw it up 5 minutes later."
Been there, done that.
And it was his fault. You know it was his fault.
It was not. It was the turkey baster.
Yeah, his mom was absolutely telling me that the turkey baster was
The father.
the father of Angel. So,
Damn.
oh yeah, I caught hell for all sorts of length of time based on that one.
I know my dad had this story where he and his uncle put a boat in a tree. Do you have any stories like that?
I can't say I've ever done that.
Well, I don't
Holy
mean like
crap.
putting a boat in a tree, but I mean like that sort of crazy.
No, but he did scare me so bad that I ended up tearing the exhaust off of his Plymouth Volare coming around the corner of the street we live on.
Yeah, I am so intimidated just sitting there.
Yelling at me to put the brakes on.
Well, what do you expect? You were heading right for a pole.
And it was the first time I'd ever driven a car. We hit that curve so fast that the thing bottomed out and tore the fucking exhaust off.
You guys have one heck of a life together.
We have. But then again, we've been together for 30 years. The
Of course, there was that one guy's house we went and smoked pot at. I scared him so bad he thought I was dead.
Yeah, back then, Joe's tolerance for creeper, which is the type of pot that sneaks up on you, was rather low. The guy had a bong that sat on the floor and it had a duck face on it. And you drew up and it was about 6 foot tall. And Joe took a mighty hit off the duck bong. Then realized he didn't have
times.
Yeah, he took a couple hits. He realized he didn't have his cigarettes. So he says, I'm going to go out to the car and get my cigarettes. Half an hour later, I realized Joe hasn't come back in. So I get up to go find him, thinking, okay, I hope he hasn't fucking left me here. Because, I mean, we were still kind of new. This was within our first year. And I go out there, and he's fast asleep in the passenger seat. And I didn't realize that the guy whose house we were at had followed me out. And he sees Joe hanging, door open, this was the second car he had gotten, because the Volare, he traded that in for a Dodge Diplomat. And he was sitting there in the Diplomat's passenger seat, glove box open, cigarette still in his damn mouth lit. I'm surprised he didn't catch himself on fire, mind you.
Fire.
But he's sitting there absolutely out, and guy starts freaking out. He's like, oh my God, he's dead, oh my God, oh my God. I'm like, shut up, he's asleep.
Thing is, I'd been sitting there for like half an hour waiting for this shit to kick in. And I was like, well, apparently I'm just not getting high tonight. Go outside, sit down in the car, get my cigarettes, and that's the last thing I remember.
Hit you like a truck and you were gone.
I don't know how we got home.
I don't either, actually. I don't remember that part.
I can almost tell you where the house was. I know it was down in Marmette. I can almost drive you back to the place, but I cannot tell you how we got home that night.
You want to tell her the story about the all-you-can-eat place in Waldorf, Maryland?
Oh, the place I poisoned myself?
That one was kind of funny.
Yeah, because it was
That's
one of those all-you-can-eat buffet bars, no big deal. I saw something there, looked like some stir fry. Okay,
mind
well, give me some of this stir fry shit.
mind you, the all-you-can-eat theme was American. The stir fry was a little out of place. It wasn't a Chinese place. So,
Yeah, one bite of that, and I knew exactly what it was. I yelled out, "I'm poisoned myself!"
I had everybody in the whole restaurant staring at us.
It was liver.
I
And
try
I
not to
couldn't
do
have
that.
been, yeah, I couldn't have been more embarrassed. Oh, oh, this man is absolutely forbidden. Forbidden from eating ham and cheese loaf.
That stuff does evil things to my insides.
Evil. Evil.
We're talking like Mr. Pickles level of evil.
Whereas you say that while my husband is over here crop dusting us in front of a fan.
No, you don't understand. You can still breathe. We couldn't. It drove
I
us.
busted a grumpy in that truck that drove us both out there nearly puking. We go inside. I destroyed their bathroom. It was a fucking war zone.
And then we spent like a half an hour inside the truck stop just shopping, doing things, just staying in there, letting it, supposedly clear. We come back out to the truck, and it is worse. It has fermented. I have never smelled a smell like that. And then
What you call the smell of death.
So he goes in, and I'm, dying over here. He goes in, buys a big can of Ozium, one of those huge, like, mega cans of Ozium, sprays half of it into the truck. We go back in to the restaurant and sit down and have dinner. We're in there for another hour at least. Come back out. The Ozium only halfway killed the smell. It was still bad, but we had a schedule to keep.
Miles to go and a schedule to keep. Unfortunately, breathing was apparently not a possibility.
Exactly. And do
Eddie,
not
Eddie
ever
didn't really believe me too awful much about the whole clear Greyhound bus until that day.
Do not let this man get started on any song. He can bastardize any song and turn it into a parody. He has ruined songs.
I think that's just our guys thing. Both of them do it, apparently.
We ended up, oh God, that trip between Southern California and DC, we were really driving illegal a lot of that. We really were, to try and get that in, because that was not supposed to be, to manage to get all of it in. We were not supposed to be driving that trip all the way. It was supposed to be transferred to teams, and it never did get transferred.
That was a different load.
Was it?
Yep.
Well, one of the loads was supposed to be transferred, and it ended up being kept on us too long, and we were trying to keep it on time. And in order to do that, we were drinking more caffeine than is healthy for any human. And it was coming out of things like rest stop coffee machine. And those things don't produce coffee. They produce something unknown to man. Trust me.
Oh yeah, I know.
FBI's labs are still looking into it, trying to figure out what exactly that shit's made of.
So we were doing that, and he was sitting there bastardizing Iron Man and making it into Caffeine Man. And I'm sitting there going, "You're ruining the song. Stop it."
Who, me? Run a song? Never.
So, what has been the most standout experience that you've had?
Well, there's always the one that got him named Satan.
That was a code black.
He used to be an EMT.
EMTs are a special breed, man.
But before he was an EMT, he was a volunteer fire department. And studying to be an EMT. And that's when this happened. And West Virginia has a lot of trailers in it because we're in the mountains, so we don't have to worry about a lot of tornadoes or things of that nature. So a woman died in one of those trailers, and unfortunately she was not somebody who had a lot of people coming to visit her and coming in and out. So she was in the trailer, what was it, Joe? 1 or 2 months.
She wasn't there that long, Patty.
The way I understood it, she was there an awful long time.
Only been like 3 or 5 days, something like that. But she was definitely swollen. No air conditioning, no open windows. It must have been 90, 95 in that trailer. It kind of stunk.
Slow baked?
We were okay. Then we went to move her. That's when the stink came loose. EMTs, state troopers, a lot of people were exiting that trailer in a hurry. couple of people puked because, well, whew, she was right. Little too right. Well, the reason I got called Satan is I was the last man standing. Not only was I able to stay in the trailer, because, well, yeah, it stunk. It stunk pretty bad, but I smelled worse. After you've smelled people burnt by aviation fuel, plain dead bodies, they don't smell as bad.
Both are their own type of nightmares, though.
Yep. Well, of course, somebody needed to ride in the back of the ambulance with her. That's part of what got me called Satan, because I was the only one that was willing to do it. Because it didn't bother me. Everybody else? Yeah, they wasn't doing it. There was no way in hell they were riding in the back of that ambulance with a corpse.
I already told my story about, or my side of the story about me getting on the CB when we first got together and introducing myself as Sassy Susie. And that guy calling out that Sassy Susie had an ass, the wingspan of a 747. I thought for sure you were going to walk away from me that day.
Laughing my ass off the entire way.
Man, that wasn't even right. I don't know who that dude was, but dude.
I had one guy absolutely going, where I was telling him I was hauling a load of sex toys. Shit. And he was looking to find a motel for him to meet up with me so he could whoop my ass. Because they were all nasty, nasty men's toys. Or the nasty men's, those good buddies.
Oh, dude. How much of the speak do you actually know, Jenny?
How much of the what do I actually know?
The CB speak.
Not as much as I understood when I was little.
Okay.
Out of practice.
What Joe just said was that he'd gotten a guy going by telling him that he had sex toys in his thing, and they were all nasty, nasty toys. They were all good buddy toys. Good buddy on the CB means gay.
Ah.
So he basically was fucking around with some dude, and some dude was just biting every bit of it.
I love screwing with people on the CB.
I
I do a
always
lot of other people. I mean, if you listen sometimes, I don't know if you hear it much anymore, but it used to be, the CB was always lighting up with somebody going, I ain't wearing no panties.
Yeah, I was going to say, I always hated the guy that used to get on there and say that. It's like, dude, shut up.
Shut up, stupid. That's what you'd hear a lot.
Uh-huh.
Dude, Kyle hears different things depending on where he is in the state of Ohio. But he keeps running into this one guy who likes to tell Bible stories and why they are why we are nearing the end.
Uh,
And
Well,
then
Trump's in
nice.
office. That's a sign of the apocalypse if there was one.
Right.
and I think I used to love the ones that would tell stories over the CB.
I found the CB overall fascinating. Like I said, I grew up with the culture because my mom and dad and stepdad all had them. We had a base station. We had one in every car. It just that was the way it was. They were more convenient than a phone in a lot of ways.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Of course, the people I grew up with were construction workers, uh, plumbers, bikers, truckers. These were the people that I knew as a child because my dad was a plumber. So, that's who we hung out with. And mom was too busy working for her to make friends of anybody other than, who she already had and who daddy had.
You know, that actually makes sense because my friend group is severely limited.
When you're a mom, it's really a case of there's either you go and make mommy friends or you make friends with your husband's friends and go from there.
I've tried the mom friends, but I am the very odd duck. So that's been kind of hard.
He does voices, unfortunately.
Oh, we love Donald here. Donald Duck, that is. Definitely. We have stuffed Donald Duck somewhere.
But Donald Duck is fine as long as he's doing that version of Donald Duck.
I still say Mickey Mouse Clubhouse is a retirement home because how else do you explain the very few people and the very few interactions? And they have a house controlling things. And it's almost like they regressed into children. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I've seen Mickey Mouse Clubhouse at least 20 times per episode. Some of them I've seen more than 400, but that depends on the child with the obsession. But yeah, don't have me analyze number blocks for you because the whole idea of number blocks actually kind of scares me, but it's the best math teaching show I've ever seen. My dad had a car, and the car was haunted, but the guy was a good guy. My dad would get blackout drunk and literally fall asleep sometimes. And the guy would drive him home because he'd like go out to the car, fall asleep in the passenger seat, and be fine. And then he'd wake up because he couldn't turn in. So he'd wake up parked on the road across from the driveway of the house, still in the passenger seat, and have no idea how we got there.
You want to tell her about Earl?
The guy that drove over 1,000,000 miles without an accident, he was drunk the whole damn time. Because, well, he couldn't drive sober.
You couldn't drive
The man
sober?
whipped around the curve, no problem, in a tractor trailer. Side of a mountain, places that you should not be taking a truck. No problem. As long as he's drunk. Don't ask him to drive sober. He's scary.
Yeah.
Earl T. Cundiff is about the only man that Joe considers to be his father.
Okay.
So,
Dads can be interesting. I think one of the best dads I ever had was David. And he was a welder and tried his best with all of us. But dealing with people with mental illnesses is hard. And PTSD after a what's it called? A gas station robbery had messed his wife up, my aunt and adopted mother, pretty bad. And their son, kleptomaniac, bipolar, schizophrenic. That man worked his ass off, but he did pretty well with the idea that not everybody made sense in the house on a constant basis.
we know for a fact that Earl drove 1,000,000 miles drunk as a skunk because we've got his 1,000,000 mile marker. You know, they gave out a plaque for driving 1,000,000 miles. We've got that down on the hallway walls downstairs.
Josh's stepmom's new husband was trying to figure out what to do with Josh's dad's wooden leg. And I'm like, I want that. My husband would like to have it. And that thing was great for random jokes during podcasting.
Yeah. That sort of thing is always great for that sort of randomness. I need to show Joe, I need to get you to send it again, the tool that you sent me, because that was cool.
Okay, I will refine the water turn on tool.
Yes.
It's somewhere.
I mean, we have an official one that the water company guy actually left
Whereas
years ago.
our family's really good at jerry-rigging things. But then again, we got like 3 Jerrys, so yeah.
Yeah, when I told Joe that you wouldn't bite, he went, "Aw."
I normally just tell people I don't bite that hard, and I usually get consent first. I am very big on consent.
Yeah, consent is a good thing.
But then again, there's always that rumor going around that you're my girlfriend, which is very big compliment.
I'm thinking that my son started that. I'm not sure. And I think it's a compliment too, so don't mistake me here. Okay.
Okay, what's the most disturbing paranormal experience you've ever had?
I wonder if the ghost in the attic counts for that one. What
I
do you
don't
think, Joe?
Yeah, I don't know if that's really an experience, more of a creeps me the fuck out.
Or how about the one in your bedroom when you were a kid?
God. I don't
Pretty
know
sure.
what I would call that. It was an experience. I don't know if I'd call it paranormal or not, but when you have a dream about it and then you wake up and the door's open, yeah.
It is kind of creepy, no matter how you go about it.
I think I'm torn between the doppelganger that hunting itself in the corner of my little sister, or the weird blob thing that just walked through the yard and went back into the trees. Both were kind of frightening, especially when you're a kid.
Mm. Mine would have to be the thing that was in the woods. Uh, Pop's place. I still don't know what it was, but it used to chase me on occasion.
I don't like the things in the woods here, and Martha's like, "You're new, that's why they're talking more. They get rather quiet after they get used to you," and I'm like, "Thank you, that's comforting."
It is comforting. That means that they like you.
Yeah, but it's still disturbing when you're sitting outside for the first time and it's like, well, damn, no, I don't think I'm gonna go in the woods today. Thank you. Especially at this late at night.
By the way, the clicking you're hearing, he has a tennis racket shaped bug zapper.
Ah,
It is absolutely the most weird thing, but it's getting all of the little itty bitty gnats that show up, or the moths that show up, or the mosquitoes
but the
that
part
annoy
where
the hell out of me.
but the part where it's a tennis racket is really cool.
Yes.
That
And it
time I
wasn't that
caught two of
expensive.
them bucking.
I didn't need to know that, dear.
That's what they get for bucking in my room. That's the bucking tax.
Alrighty then.
If I'm not involved, there's tax.
Alrighty then. Okay.
Well, I didn't get invited to that little party, so tax
You
time.
you two will just have a separate little party later at some point. That should be probably better because I can't imagine something that small as a bug being very satisfying.
Well, you know, I may be hung like a field mouse, but I'm not small enough to go bug.
You are not hung like a field mouse. We are not having this argument again.
Okay then.
He does this, and it's annoying.
That is probably why we have the 18 and older thing on the intro.
Yes, it is. But then again, I have yet to meet a truck driver of any sort that wasn't crass, rude, crude, and socially unacceptable in some way.
Neither have I. But then again, I grew up, the truck driver I knew not only was in the army first, then he became a truck driver, but also he'd also been a bouncer at a bar. So,
Oh, now there's a story, Joe. There's a story. Joe's worked as a bouncer as a in a strip club a couple of times. You want to tell her a couple of those stories? Because those were entertaining.
Glad you think so. Those girls were a headache and a half. Though, some of them were hot. I'll give them that. They were like Precious. Precious was 6 foot of built like a brick shithouse black woman. I mean, all she was is muscle and tit.
And Precious liked to fight.
And we had this stupid white girl who wasn't exactly anything less than the word stupid. She also liked to try and get in the fights with Precious, who, if she ever got her hands on that girl, would tear her in half. Because they got into a fight one night, and it was me and another guy there. At the time, I was about 220. This guy was pushing 300. It took me and him holding this girl back.
Now, mind
killing that girl running her mouth.
Now, mind you, when he says that he was 220, the boy used to move furniture as a child for his mom because his mom would change her idea of what she wanted her house to look like weekly. So I watched him at 220 lift a 50-pound couch by himself over his head and go up flights of stairs.
50-pound couch. Sure.
Like that was nothing.
That was more like 100 pounds, probably.
Probably.
The chair maybe was 50 pounds. The couch, not so much.
It was a couch that we used to be able to sleep on. It was a larger couch. It held 4 people easily. I'm not good at figuring out numbers on that type of thing.
Understandable. Numbers are hard. Words are easier. That's why you're a poet.
Exactly. But I watched him pick that couch up and put it over his head and just walk up 3 flights of stairs like they were nothing. So he's using weight here, but weight really doesn't do justice to how strong he was.
She had more than 500 pounds pushing against her, and she was moving us.
Wow.
And of course, that girl kept shooting off at the mouth. I finally had to tell her, if you don't shut the fuck up, I'm going to let this girl go and just let her have you. I think she caught the understanding of that because there was no way. I'm telling you, this girl, the only fat on her body was in her tits and her ass. The rest of her was sculpted muscle.
Damn.
Then there was the stripper that he felt sorry for and decided to pay for a lap dance just because she was having a slow night.
Oh, God. Oh, the views.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. Man, you have to bring that up. I've got that back in my brain now.
Unfortunately, the poor girl was on her period, and most strippers on their period will clip the string so that it doesn't hang down. This one chose not to, and he kept flipping his Zippo because he wanted to light the fuse.
Because, well, you gotta understand, in this state, the nudie bars are full nude. So here she was, waving her thing in my face, and that string just a dangling. I so wanted to light the fuse.
He came home and told me about it, and I about died laughing. I was like, serves you right.
What I get for, feeling sorry for people. Low night, I mean, it just happens. Of course, I was a bad boy and took a bribe at one point to let a couple of kids in there. Well, I say kids, but they were 18. Kid had just joined the military and was getting ready to get shoved off to the Middle East. So he slipped me a Franklin. I just let him on in. Congratulations. Or should I say happy birthday.
I never have understood that part.
I've always thought it was BS.
You're old enough to go die for your country, but you're not old enough to go see a lap dance or something of that nature. That just makes no sense.
No, you can go in the bar, you just can't drink.
Then,
well, as far as I'm concerned, you know what? If these guys here can be old enough to put a gun in their hands, be sent over, told to kill people, and told to die for a cause you don't understand, then by damn, you're old enough to have a beer.
Yeah.
I can't argue that. I've never understood the whole war thing anyway.
If you're getting ready to get sent to the sandbox, you might as well get to have a beer on your way out.
I don't understand most of it, and I'm trying to. And the hard part is I'm not sure if most information we're being given is right. So, yeah, that I'm just leaving alone at this moment.
Yeah, same.